Hey guys, it's Elsa. So I decided to finish off with Descendants. For most of you Descendants fans out there, I am going to finish chapter 3 and chapter 4. So last video I started with chapter 1, chapter 2, but this time I decided to do a live stream video of me reading Descendants. So here we go. Chapter 3. Some kids grow up hearing lame lullabies, stupid flower fairy tales, but this island is always being about long live evil. On the Isle of the Lost, Mel sprayed painted a battered city wall. With her purple hair, leather jacket, and with this detail of 2 dragons on the back, and her tough as nail boots. Boots. Mel had trouble written all over her, which had precisely what she was going for. The billions green spray paint spelled out "Long live evil." Mal hustled her paint can, reeling in her work. She stepped into the bustling marketplace, where she was quickly swept up in the stroll and the sorry guys, some of these words I don't know, so I'm just gonna try to bear with it. Into Oh, thank you. So I'm a good reader. Thanks, Leah. Into the sea of the hard-worn face. Jay, son of Jafar, watched Mal vanish into the crowd. As he looked over the bazaar from the rooftop of a nearby building, oozing with he had long dark hair, biceps that bled out of his leathered vest. He smiled, his eyes glanced dangerous dangerously in several cobra-like moves. Jay leaped and slid down the rusty ladder from the rooftop. Those who knew Jay said that he was a dirty, good, bad to the bone. Evie, daughter of Evil Queen, spotted Jay making his way towards the street, and she turned to strut across the table where devilish unions were trying to eat. They oozled Evie's dazzling smile, dark wavy hair, and hypnotized eyes. She wore blue with a necklace that had a red gem topping by a gold crown. She carried a red box-shaped purse. She was a natural beauty, but it was hard to tell under all that makeup. Her mom taught her looks were everything. She glanced around to see Jay was gone. Carlos, son of Cruella de Vil, spied Evie as he climbed out of a window and stepped onto a raw street. Carlos was skinny, teen, with white hair and black roots. He was all decked out in the red and white and black leather jacket and boots. As he walked towards the visitor. He stole a handkerchief, then swiped an apple. Villagers consulted him as a callous little life, and he loved them for it. Evie and Mal emerged from the back alley. Carlos raced up to them and leaped down from a building to join them. The four friends were united once again. They slid down a plank-like gate and marched from warehouse to warehouse. They ran through clothes hanging on lines and banging on rusty bins. Mal spray painted an M onto a shower curtain. Jay stole a teapot. Evie flirted with a merchant. Carlos kicked over a food basket as they stomped out onto the filthy street. The friends struck their fear and reprised into their hearts. Of the street hawkers, pickpockets, and artists, high scan artists, the 14s were truly rotten to the core. Mal snatched the lollipop out of a child's hand, and it began to cry. She held up the lollipop. Trembling, Mal's friends laughed. They were pleased with her strength. Suddenly a shadow loomed in the past, and all the merchants scampered away, hiding into shops. It could only mean one thing. Henchmen appeared, and it was cleared away to make room for her royal wickedness. Maleficent, mistress of all evil. Horns were wrapped in leather. She carried a scepter. Her eyes flashed green. "Hi, Mom," said Mal, with a mischievous smile. "Stealing candy, Mal," said Maleficent. "I'm so disappointed." Mal scrunched up her face. "It was from a baby," she said cheerfully, holding out the lollipop. Mal's friends laughed again, and just how very mean she could be. Maleficent smiled. "That's my nasty little girl." She snatched up the lollipop from Mal's hand, spit on it, and clamped into her armpit, and held it out to one of her henchmen. "Give it back to the dreadful creature," Maleficent said, eyes gleaming. "Mom," said Maleficent annoyedly. How her mom always had to tone up her henchman trotted off and returned the lollipop to the mother of the baby. "It's the deets, Mal, that makes the difference between mean and truly evil," said Maleficent. She smiled and waved gracefully to the mother. Gracefully, gracefully mother. Grateful mother. Sorry. She looked back at Mal. "When I was your age, I was cursing kingdoms, entire kingdoms." She glanced gladly. Mal's mouth along. Cursing entire kingdoms. She rolled her eyes. "Walk with me," said Maleficent, putting her hand on her daughter's shoulder, and glided forward. "See, I'm just trying to teach you the things that really count. How to be me." I know that, said Mal, nodding, and I'll do better. Oh, there's news, said Maleficent, whipping around. I bury the lead. She pointed at Mal and her friends. You four have been chosen to go to a different school in Oridon. At these words, Evie, Jay, and Carlos made a bolt, only to be snatched up by Maleficent's hitmen. Mal gawked at her mom, eye widened. Her friends stopped struggling against her captors. What? Said Mal. Mom, you have to be joking. Nope, said Maleficent. You'll join the bears of the privilege of exclusives of Ordon Prep. The words left a sour apple taste in her mouth. Mom, I'm not going to some boarding school filled with the brim of prissy pink princesses, said Mal. And perfect princess, said Evie dreamily as she stepped beside Mal. Mal glared at her. Evie's smile vanished. Ugh, she said, facing a look of disgust. I don't do uniforms, said Jay, unless it's letter you feel me. He glanced and tried to high-five a terrified Carlos who stepped towards Maleficent. I read somewhere they allow dogs in Oridon, Carlos said. Mom said they're rabbit-packed animals who eat boys who don't behave. He gulped unblinkingly. Jay snuck up to Carlos and barked in his ear. Carlos jumped back. Jay laughed. Yeah, Mom, we're not going, said Mal, muttering of matter of faculty. You're not going to see me start doing curtsies and book reports. You think it's small, Pumpkin, said Maleficent. It's all about world domination. She licked her lips. Then she turned to her henchmen. Knuckleheads. She turned on her heels and swept her cloak, and then took down off the empty street, flanking by her devoted thugs. Mal, she sang over beckoning her daughter forth. Mal and her friends exchanged glances and followed Maleficent. Chapter 4. World domination, of course, it's all Mom ever talks about. That's and revenge, typically evil. Old Mom, well, here we go. Maleficent's tense apartment sat directly above a bridged castle. It was dark and dirty, just so just to Maleficent's liking. The colored window paint were mischief and blocked out the sunlight. In the green crystals shone from the hanging chandelier ceiling. The whole full place smelled of sulphur. Maleficent filed her nails. What? Filing her nails was sitting in her tall green throne chair with her feet popped up. Mal and her friends and their parents sat around the apartment waiting for Maleficent to explain why she had summoned them all them. The villains been better had seen better days. Cruella Her wild black and white hair, she wore nearly a bit blood black and white dog fur coat, which sports a bejeweled stuffed toy Dalmatian she had next to her neck. She stroked it lovingly as if it were alive. Jafar, with his trade merchant and got was rocking in a cum and puffed saddle belt pants. Evil Queen, in a form beauty, at her cosmetics of Ellie's face, and she started into mirroring Mal, Evie, J, and Carlos feared their parents' knowledge. You will go, Maleficent commanded to the. Hold on, guys. Hello? Hi, Mom. I'm on the live stream right now. I had a can of spaghetti. Later. No, I'm good. No, no. I'm sure. I gotta go. I'm on live stream. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. That was my mom. Anyways, back to the story. Before we were rudely interrupted. You will. Okay. I read that part. You will go, she commanded the teens. You will find the fairy godmother, and you will bring me back her magic wand. She blew on her nails. Easy peasy. What's in it for us? Asked Mal. Matching thrones, said Maleficent. Hers and hers crowns. Carlos glanced to his friend. I think she means us. Ignore him, Maleficent. Ignore him. Maleficent tossed her nail file over her shoulder and stood and beckoned Mal to her. It's all about me and you, baby, she said, leaning in close to Mal. Do you enjoy watching innocent people suffer? Well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Said Mal. Well, then get me the wand, and you and I can see all that and so much more, said Maleficent. And with that wand and my scepter, she held up her arms. I will be able to bend both good and evil to my will. The evil queen lowered her mirror. Our will, she said. Cruella pointed at the evil queen and nodded. Our will, said Maleficent. And she tried to save her face. She looked at Mal. And if you refuse, you're grounded for the rest of your life, Missy, she said firmly. What? Cried Mal, distraught. Mom! Maleficent stared into her daughter's eyes. Mal stared right back. Their stare influenced. It was a tease of power and focus. Mal and her mom did this every so often. Maleficent always won. Mal tore her eyes away and gazed. Fine, whatever, said Mal. Mal said. I won, said Maleficent. Relax, said Evil Queen. There you're going to pop a vein, and that's not a good look. No one can rock. Did her face just move? Maleficent asked. Cruella, um, no one. Cruella cackled. Did her face just move? Maleficent asked Cruella, pointing at the evil queen. Cruella used her thumb and forget to I did a little bit. Some would alert the media, said Maleficent. Hilarious, said the evil queen, sarcastically. Evie, my little evilette in training. Evie ran over and sat the opposite across the table from her mother. You just find yourself a prince with a big castle, and a mother-in-law wing. And Evie, said Evil Queen. And lots of mirrors, said Evie and her mom in union. Evie beamed and clapped her hands. No laughing, her mother's told her. Wrinkles. Evie smiled, vanished, and pouted. Maleficent looked at them and sighed. Well, they're not taking my Carlos, said Cruella, clasping her son's head. I miss him too much. Really, Mom? Said Carlos. Yes. Who would touch up my roots, fluff my fur, and scrape the buttons off my feet? She kicked up her leg, and Carlos caught her foot with his hand. He looked miserable. Maybe a new school wouldn't be the worst thing. Carlos, they have dogs in Oregon, said Cruella, stroking his cheek. Carlos looked petrified, and shook his head. Oh no, I'm not going. Ugh, said Maleficent. Jay isn't going either, said Jafar. I need him to stock the shelves in my store. He looked at him. What did you score? Jay laughed and pulled out a variety of stolen trucks, one last item being an old lamp. His sleeve cuffed and his boots, and handed them over to Jafar. A lamp, Jafar gasped, grabbed it and rubbed it furiously. Dad, I already tried, I already tried, said Jay, shaking his head. Well, Evie's not going anywhere until we get rid of this unibrow, Evil Queen. Eyed Evie, through with a pair of tweezers and approached her daughter. Will it hurt? Asked Evie. Beauty is pain, darling. Beauty is pain, said Evil Queen. As she plucked, Maleficent addressed the room. And I here was speaking. What is wrong with you all? People used to cower at the mention of our names. For 20 years, I have searched for a way off this island. Evie began to pluck her mother's eyebrows. Ouch, said Evil Queen. For 20 years, continued Maleficent, they robbed us of our revenge. Ouch, said Evil Queen, as Evie kept plucking. Revenge on Snow White and her horrible little men, Maleficent told Evil Queen. Ouch, said Evil Queen. At Maleficent's words, Maleficent turned to Jafar. Revenge on Aladdin and his bloated genie. Jafar shook his fist. Maleficent rounded on Cruella de Vil, revenge on every squeaky Dalmatian that escaped your clutches. Oh, but they didn't get baby, said Cruella. She stroked the dog. They didn't get the she wheezed manically. They didn't get the baby. Jafar locked eyes with Maleficent. And I'm with you. I'm with you. Maleficent returned. Who are you? She asked. Jafar, the greatest terrors of Agrabah. And I, Maleficent, the most evil of them all, she said, with a finally. I'll have my revenge on Sleeping Beauty and her relentless prince. She turned to her friend. Villains, our day has come. She turned to Evil Queen and nodded at Evie. EQ, give her the magic mirror. Evil Queen studied her brows and then stared at the shattered glass. Then used to be her magic mirror. That used to be her magic mirror. 1 minute celebrant. I'm sorry, guys. This part is French or something. I don't know. Said Evil Queen, glancing her face and now studying her reflection. Now, said Maleficent. Oh, for badness sakes, said Evil Queen. World domination can wait another 30 seconds, she said, handing her mirror to Evie. This is your magic mirror? Evie sounded disappointed. Well, said Evil Queen, it ain't what it used to be. Then again, neither are we. She glanced at Maleficent and Cruella and Jafar, and they laughed. It will help you find things. Evie's face lit up like a prince. She said, like my waistline, said Evil Queen. Like the magic wand. Hello, said Maleficent. She looked through. I need my spell book. I need my spell book. Ah, the safe. She tried to open it, the old refrigerator in her kitchen. I can't open it, she said. Someone help me. I need to get in. It's broken. I can't get in. Everyone looked on as banging the refrigerator until finally Evil Queen pulled the handle and opened the door. Maleficent reached in and revealed the book. Ah, my spell book, she said. Come, come, darling, she said to Mal. She lovingly stroked the book, browsing the cover, which featured a gold embassy dragon. There she is. It doesn't work here, but it will in Oridon, she said, looking at the Evil Queen. Remember when we were spreading evil and ruining lives? Asked Maleficent. Like it was yesterday, said Evil Queen. The two women straight into teary eye. Maleficent spun to Mal. And now you will be making your own memories. She offered the spellbook to Mal but before Mal could take it, she snatched it away. By doing exactly as I tell you, she said, shoving the book into Mal's arm. Door, Maleficent, said Evil Queen, grasping the door. A horn sounded from the streets. Let's get this party started, said Jay. Carlos, come, said Corella. Evie checked herself into the mirror. Who is the fairest of them all? She asked. Who is the fairest of them all? Evil Queen asked her. Me, said Evie. Ugh, said Evil Queen. You, said Evie. Yes, said Evil Queen. Let's go. Jafar pulled Jay for a private exchange. Now remember our mantra. There's no team and I, said Jay. Jay smiled. Run along, you're making me tear up. As everyone fled out of the room, Maleficent threw open the doors and led Mel on the balcony. They looked over the bustling streets with light and gazed across the sea. Oridon Prept could be seen nastily in majestic green mountains. Mel couldn't believe that she'd be there, and soon as soon. The future of the free world rests on your shoulder, said Maleficent. She sat a hand on Mal's shoulder. Don't blow it. She whisked and disappeared fiercely inside. Maleficent leaned onto the balcony, not taking her eyes off Oridon. She was afraid, but also excited. She wondered if there was someone on the aisle looking back at her. Mal, her mother sang, beckoning her. Mal headed back inside, but not before giving a tiny doubt that Oridon prepped one last look from below. The horn the horn honked again, a reminder that it was time to depart. And that is the end of um, chapter 3 and chapter 4. We will continue chapter 5 and chapter 6 soon. So I'm going to go because I think my parents will soon be home. So I got to go. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed the story. Bye!